All right, everybody. It is June 9th, 2025, and this is the Art with Errol Podcast weekly check-in. Let's go. All right, everybody. Man, it's been a crazy month so far. Last week, we could only fit in a few game streams. We didn't get I've been wanting to get 3 per week, and I have not been able to do that this month just because there's a lot going on in life, man. And this week is going to be no different coming up. We got our podcast done, which I'm happy I'm getting the art and podcast done, and I'm getting at least 1 game stream per week or 2. Squeezing in 2 where I can, right? It's going to be similar this week. It really is. These are the challenges of life of, trying to be a content creator, full-time parent, full-time dad, right? Full-time working man, We got a job. We work 8 hours, It's life, It's challenging all the way around. And I'm sure there's a lot of folks that are going through the same things I'm going through. But you can witness my journey, and we can talk about it here on our podcast. So just diving in, we can let's talk about content creating. So yeah, I'm fitting in what I can. I don't really have talk like I've been doing this week. I think we were just gonna wing it this week because it's gonna be a very busy week as of this Monday. I've got an appointment, so really I'm recording this on Sunday instead of actual Monday. So this will be a recording, not a live stream, and a video post or audio post is just gonna be done pre-recorded on Sunday. And there's times where you have to go through these things because you have a lot of stuff happening. So I have appointments, the kids got appointments this week, so I'm only going to be able to fit in 1 game stream on Wednesday, and maybe we can get one in on next Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. That's all. Weekends are always, up in the air because, I try to keep that for family time, as much as possible. I do want to do content creating. I do want to make more videos. I want to make better videos, better podcasts and all that stuff, right? I want to progress. And it's going to be times like this where you have your ups and downs. And I think that's what this podcast is mostly going to be on. It's the ups and downs, because you can't always get done what you want to get done. And you have to realize that and be accepting of that and say, hey, well, we can't get it done, like our normal schedule. So we'll just do what we can and just inform your community. And these are the ways I inform my community, is by doing the morning short, the good morning. It's a beautiful morning short, and then give a little bit of gaming news and then talk about the week. So I've got different ways I try to inform or keep up with the community that I'm trying to build. I feel like my successes, though, in viewership is seems to be going up with the content, definitely with the shorts, because I'm making 1 short per day every day. So I feel like that's, bringing attention, but it's not necessarily bringing the community in, because the amount of actual social interaction there is low. And what I've realized is that, people may watch it or watch a portion of it and they don't comment or say anything. So, or like or anything. So, it's weird, a weird dynamic, I guess. It's really hard to get people to like content for some reason on these social media platforms. That's why it leads me to believe like a lot of people are using bots to like their stuff and comment or whatever. But that's just my thought process. It may not be true. Maybe they do have, I think they push engagement by having a lot of bots initially push their content by hitting like and throwing up some weirdo comment or whatever, and then real people come in and talk or whatever. I think that's an algorithm thing too as well. Like I think the algorithm is tied to, because if you don't get a certain amount of viewership in the first amount of time of posting, it's like the post is buried, and I think that's how the algorithm works on all these. And I think a lot of people know that, and I think that's why people are using bots, to boost their stuff. I think a lot of that stuff is boosted because, like, you'll see people post and then they get like an automatic 10 likes in a few seconds of the post. That's bots, yo. In some cases, it may be a few real people, but or maybe they have a group of friends that they have get on when they make their post, and they just have them all like it at the same time. I don't know. That's why it's not surprising to me that my growth on a lot of these platforms is very limited, because I don't get that amount of I don't have the bots, so I'm not getting that. And then the views that I do get, it seems like the people that watch it don't engage. So, that tells me that most people that watch stuff on YouTube, they don't engage the real people, I think, because I think I'm getting real views for the most part because I'm not getting that push. So they watch a portion and then they this is not my kind of style, and they just move on. And I think that's what it is. But that's fine, and that's probably why they don't because they're like, this is not my style of video or whatever. But for some reason I'll get a lot of views, and this is interesting to me because I was looking at a post I did, a short, right? That got, I want to say 1,000 plus views, right? Let me try to pull up the analytics on my phone and see which one it was. So I did a short talking about the Elden Ring live action movie, right? And it says I got 1.4K views, which is interesting because a lot of my videos on shorts don't get that kind of viewership. But the engagement is so low, man. The retention is low, the engagement is low. They watched approximately 10%, I guess. We're still watching around the 30 mark or whatever. And I get a couple of videos like this where I get a lot of viewers, but then it's no engagement, or they watch just that portion to get that little bit of gaming news, and then they just switch off, because it's short, so people like to scroll with their thumb. I think you got to hit the information earlier, and I'm not doing that because I like to do my little intro, and it's a short intro. I try to keep it short. The good morning thing, which is, I thought was something different, just trying to be different, different, quirky, or funny, whatever. But I'm seeing this trend a lot with my shorts where the engagement is really low, and I'm giving some information, and then I talk about what we got going on for the week. So, but I'm getting views that way, the views have been going up, even though they're not engaging that much. There are engagements because I'll get the weekly post, the weekly thing that, YouTube sends you. This is how many people engaged, how many people shared, this how many, and there's numbers in there. And maybe it's my fault for not understanding the analytics that well. It's kind of hard. I mean, they give you a lot of data to me, and what you really want to know is, how do I make my video better? That's what I really want to know. Like, how do I make it better? If they're not staying for the full video, how do I make it better? How do I, that's the part I got to figure out. And that's really, I think, on you at that point, right? Or on me. So, yeah. But talking about like the content for this week, we're going to get one game stream in. We're going to get this podcast done. We're going to probably get a video or two posted. I should be able to do some short videos, I think. Maybe I can get on the days that I do the appointments when I get back. Maybe I can do like a short video and post it. We're going to try some different things this week just to have more content, even though I won't be able to live stream. Because I do like game streaming and live streaming, and even with that, there's a lot of ups and downs. Sometimes I'll get like some good views, and then sometimes I won't, and I'm sure, like, for the folks that are like me, that work an 8-hour shift and then try to create for like 2 hours or so in the evening and then be with the family the rest of the time, your engagement's not going to be very high because people don't have a lot of time to spend with you. And I know, like, if I was a full-time creator, like a lot of these folks, they stream for 8 hours. So there's plenty of time for people to come to the live stream and engage with them, and spend time with them because, they're on a lot longer, right? I'm on for a very short period of the day, right? 2 hours. Sometimes I can squeeze 3 hours out of it, but for the most part, my live streams are very short. So I don't really have a lot of time. And then the time I stream is probably not optimal for when people are able to watch YouTube. So, it is what it is, Or they're watching another creator. That could be another thing too, right? So, there's always that too. Yeah, my thoughts on creating is, I really want to push, which I've been pushing this year, to do a lot more content, which I have created a lot more content. I have. Just in the shorts alone, because doing one short per day, that's already like, a significant amount of content that I've been creating, even though, my channel is not building like I would want it to. I've got to push to do more videos, which is that's a time thing. It's very hard for me to find the time to make a YouTube video, because I'm the editor, I'm everything. Whereas some people have an editor or they have someone to help them create the content. I don't have that at all. I'm doing everything. So, and maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I need to scale back. I don't know. There's a lot of thought process into content creating when you only have a small window of time to do it, right? And everybody wants that dream of being able to be full-time and have a great audience, a great community, and that they can, count on to be there for them when they're making their content and get the viewership they need to earn the ad money and be able to, to support themselves as a full-time creator. Otherwise you got to work. Otherwise you're like me. You got to get out there and work that job, Yeah, so I still enjoy doing it. And I'm going to continue to do it. I'm just going to try to take the lessons I learned, and hopefully by talking about it this way, I'm encouraging people, not discouraging. I don't want to discourage people from creating. I just want to be able to put my thoughts out and say, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. maybe you're experiencing the same thing. And if you can reflect on that with me and help me out and help yourself out, maybe what I'm telling you is helping you out, and what you can tell me can help me out. We can grow and help each other. That's what I think of this as. But I don't have that Discord yet. I'm hoping that more people will engage, and give the feedback, and talk. I don't get any comments on any of these yet because I think I'm not being noticed. It's a podcast, right? We're pushing it out as a podcast, or I am. I'm putting it on all platforms, hoping that, I'll find an audience somewhere, So Spotify, Apple, Amazon, it's on all that, and YouTube. So I created an additional channel. It's a lot to manage. When you got 3 channels, I got 3 channels now. I separated everything. I simply took the art and gaming channel and split the gaming, made a gaming channel. I created a podcast channel. So we got 3 channels to push our content now. I don't know if this is going to be successful because I'm trying it out, right? Maybe I could just go back to the one channel and combine it all, That would be a good idea if somebody was like, give me that feedback. If we all think, should I just combine it all back to the one channel? Should I just move everything back to Art with Errol and just, put the podcast on there, bring the gaming back to it, and just have the one channel? Is that the way to do it? And I don't know, because I know a lot of people have 2 channels, and there was a reason they had 2 channels. I thought that the 2 channels was helping them grow. I don't know if that's really working for me. So it's been, we can gauge that at the end of the year, I think. I think a lot of times, too, you got to give things time, right? We've been doing this for this year. Basically, just this year, we have the 3 channels, Which, it won't be super difficult, I think, to move everything to one channel. It would just take a lot of time. Because especially by the end of the year, I'm going to have a lot of videos done on this gaming channel. All these shorts. I couldn't think. My brain stopped for a second. I finished drinking my coffee, y'all. All these shorts, the streams, the gaming content. It's going to be a lot, It's going to be a lot, So if I was to want to bring it all back to one, I would either have to just lose that content, or I would need to just extract it one by one and move it over, to that channel. Which I don't know. I honestly don't know what the best method is. I'm just trying things. I've been experimental, and the main thing is that I'm trying to push YouTube. And I think I was going about it the wrong way by when I was posting on everything. I wasn't really posting the link with the content to YouTube. So I got to work better on pushing everybody back to YouTube. And the thing is I would like to just be on one platform, but it's hard, man. It's hard. People are everywhere on these platforms. So it's like, in order to gain your following, you have to post on Facebook. You have to post on X. You have to post on, all these other platforms, on Twitch. I was going to try Kick. I just stopped. I just said, nah, I'm done. I don't want to mess with Kick. And I noticed that the bots are on there too. They're on Kick as well, I'm not even facing the camera. I have a weird thing about facing the camera. I'm sorry, y'all. But the bots, I noticed that when I live stream, you can tell when the bot enters the chat. oh, my audio is not working. I can't hear you. Can you chat with me? It's a bot. And it sucks, man. These bots, how do these bots get to free roam these platforms? I wish there was a better way to report them. I feel like a lot of these platforms don't make it easy. I remember YouTube used to make it easy where you could it was a block feature in your little chat thing. You could just click the dots and it would say blocked user or whatever, and it would block them. I don't know why they ever got rid of that, man. To me, that was a feature that they should have never gotten rid of. They should have kept that. It was super easy to do. Now it's like you can hide user from your channel. I don't know. There shouldn't be like a block and report feature, And, if YouTube sees that this person or this bot is being blocked a lot, they can investigate the user, at that point, because, I'm sure it's dropping in a lot of people's live streams and stuff. Yeah, so, content creating has been challenging. I enjoy the challenge, right? Trying this things out to it keeps your mental going too, trying to figure things out, how do I do this, how do I put this video together, how do I make things better, experiment with stuff. To me it's fun. I enjoy that stuff. I really do enjoy it. I like making stuff. So doing the art videos, those are fun, even though I'm just sketching. I like to paint too. I'd like to get back to painting. I just don't have the space for it, and I want a better camera to do it too. I want a really high quality camera for our art videos. That's what I really want. When I get that, I'm gonna make better videos with that. I'm gonna spend a lot more time. I'm gonna invest more time into that once I get that camera, and I have plans to get that for Christmas. So get the camera. We'll learn how to use it. And we're going to shoot some really good art videos. That's what I want to get to. Doing them once a week. I may spend more time doing the art content, throughout the week. I might start setting around 30 minutes. Do about 30 minutes, recording it. Boom, boom, boom. Every day till Friday, and then have a full session on Friday to finish the artwork, and then it's going to be a finished piece. I think that's what I'm going to end up working towards for next year. So I think next year the art content will be much more high quality, and that's what I want to get to. One piece of artwork a week instead of these little sketches that only take me like maybe an hour and a half to do. That's where I want to work to and get towards with the art content. And I still want to be able to do like the gaming content, maybe 3 times a week game streaming, or maybe we can shrink that down to 1 time a week game stream. I don't know. I like game streaming. I feel like that's more engaging. It's fun when people come in and you can converse with them, and talk to people and say, hey, yo, what do you think about this game? You like it, and all that. And that's, to me, it's interesting. It's fun. What social media is supposed to be for, not for people to come in and try to stream snipe you and just be disruptive or whatever. But, that happens because people weren't raised right. And I blame their parents. I blame their upbringing, because they weren't taught. That's not how you do things. That's not right. It's not. You don't know right from wrong, apparently. Using aim bots and cheating and all that stuff. No ethics. A lot of that going around, and that's I think that's really destroying the gaming. So let's talk about gaming. How about that? We move on from content to gaming. So the joy of gaming, which I think that's sucking the joy out of gaming. Really is, man. All these people using these hacking devices, hacking websites and stuff. It makes the gaming online is designed for you to be able to play with other people, and have an enjoyable experience, not for people to be disrupted. They're taking this and, doing that, by cheating and going and getting the hacks and, they buy the little devices and all that stuff. I mean, you don't understand that you're destroying the experience for people, and it's making people less and less likely to want to play online. And eventually it's going to be nothing but people doing that, and nobody's going to want to play that. For a person that just comes home from work and wants to game and just picks up a controller, a regular controller, and doesn't have no device attached to it that's going to give them, an advantage over someone, and wants to play and have fun with the game, that ruins the experience for them, because they're getting destroyed by someone who is using something that, they shouldn't be using, and you're not a winner. You're a loser. It needs to be expressed. You're a loser. And the biggest loser at that, Nobody respects you. Nobody thinks, you're great because you're using these aimbot stuff and wall hacks and stuff. People actually lost respect for you as a person. You have no integrity in life. No integrity. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I blame your upbringing. I blame that, your parents didn't teach you right from wrong, And to think that that's okay, and you think that's okay, no matter whether the game is old or new, if you're doing it, and that I was watching Doc play Battlefront, which was one of my favorite games, one of my favorite games, Star Wars Battlefront, and there are people cheating in that game. Like, why? Why are you doing it? Cheating and shutting down the servers. They're doing, and to think that you think that that's funny, or that that's okay, or that you have no integrity. You're a sad individual, and you're a loser. Man was enjoying the game. Like, when he actually got into the game and was playing the game, he was enjoying it, because that was a great game. It was a great game. Destroyed by hackers. Just taking the joy out of gaming, man. Because they want to be the best and don't want to put the time in to be the best. That's what it all boils down to. It doesn't matter if you're working an 8-hour shift or whatever. I work 8-hour shift. My aim ain't the greatest in the world, but I can aim and take people down. I can win games. I've proven it. I won games. It's about putting time in and effort, not going about it that way, because you are just taking not only the joy of other people out of it. How can you have joy in something you didn't do? You didn't even accomplish it. The computer did it for you. The computer aimed for you. The only thing it didn't do was pull the trigger. You pulled the trigger and it targeted it for you. How can you be happy about that? You're not doing it. You're not controlling it. You're not winning. You're a loser. This is my rant, I guess, in this section about the people that use these things, man. Play the game as it's intended to be played. Have integrity. Have, know right from wrong, if you want to be good at something, you got to take time out of your life to do it, you know. You've got to put in the work, you know. If you want to be good at something, you got to put in the work. And I continually put in the work. You know, I play games. I play the shooter games because I want to be good at them. So I'll play them when I can. Doesn't mean I have like 10 hours a day. I don't have 10 hours a day to play it. But when I do play it, it's me. It's not the computer. I'm not using an aimbot. Oh, I don't know where the enemy is unless the UAV is up. You know? Yeah, that's just my rant, I guess, on that, man, because it's really sad, man. It really is. It's truly sad that you know, you have these folks that think that's okay, and they need to know that's not okay, you know. I wish the companies would do more or push to have those websites taken down, man, and blocked, you know. That's what needs to happen. You know, that's the real solution, is having those sites blocked and taken down, you know. Honestly, you know, because it's intruding on the integrity of the game, you know. It's altering the game to what it's not meant to be played like that. That's not how it's supposed to be. So they should have in the ability to fight that those websites shouldn't be allowed and that they should be blocked. You know, it's altering their creation. It's giving abilities to players that they're not supposed to have. That's, you know, that the lawyers should be able to fight that, to have the websites blocked. The company should be able to put in the money to have all those sites blocked and taken down. And then they will say, oh, well, they can create another site. Well, yeah, then you just keep having them blocked, you know. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's either that or they need to be able to have the game check your computer. You know, the software should be able to check your computer. If you're running whatever it is, they should be able to detect it, and then they should be able to IP ban your computer. Computer, your MAC address should be able to be blocked from the game. That's another way they could do it. Put it into the software of each game. They need to put it into the software of each game that it checks your computer randomly, and if it detects the website that's providing you the cheat or the whatever it is, then it will ban you by your MAC address. Then you can never play the game from that computer again. That'll fix the problem. People will stop cheating in, because if you have to get a whole new computer to play the game, that's expensive. You'd have to change out your whole CPU unit, everything. That would be expensive. Change your whole MAC address. You have to get a whole new motherboard, whole new computer, basically, to be able to play a video game. Now that will stop people right there. Stop you dead in your tracks. You know, that's a way they can do it. You know, they'll eliminate a lot of hacking and cheating. You know, they build it into the software. It'll stop it. And that will bring, you know, integrity back, you know, because the people need to be checked. Apparently, people can't be trusted to do the right thing on their own, and a lot of these are adults. I don't think they're all kids. I know there probably are some kids that's doing it, but I really believe it's a lot of adults doing it. And I don't think it's all kids because they got to pay for those sites. So how are you telling your mom, hey, I'm on this site, I want to pay for this? You know, and the mom says, oh, yeah, that's fine. No, or the dad says, that's fine. No, that can't be true, you know. Or they're taking the credit card and doing it themselves. You know, if they're a kid, maybe they're doing it that way. But I think, you know, a lot of them are 18 and older or adults, you know. Because you got to pay for it, right? Those sites are paid for. You can't just go on there and use that. They're running it. It's a business, you know. They're making money. Well, I think I ranted enough about that, man. And I know my voice won't really be heard unless people push this. I would need people to clip this and push it for like the companies to see it, like Microsoft and Activision and all them people to, you know, say, hey, that's a great idea. Why didn't we think of that? You know, and implement that into the game, you know. That would be the ultimate anti-cheat, you know. You randomly check for the software that they're running, you know. And it may take a little leg work of them investigating how they connect and all that stuff, and then building it into the software to search their computer for that, you know. And then if they find it, guess what? MAC address blocked, you know. No longer can play the game. You know, that would be the way to go. You know. Yeah. All right, y'all. Moving on. That's enough about gaming. I still love gaming. I wish people had more integrity, but they don't. I wish, you know, people would play the game as it's intended to be played, so everyone can have fun and enjoy the game. You know, then there would be less doubt of, is this person cheating or not? You know, because they would know, hey, they're not cheating because their computer would be banned. You know. So let's move back and talk about artwork. I've really been enjoying the series I've been running, y'all, of just sketching. And my just drawing series is just, you know, it's good, you know. I've been just doing some random stuff. I've been doing things that are relevant, which I think we got upcoming at ELO, or I think it's called ELO. It's where the little kid, he wants to see the aliens, and they take him into outer space, and he claims to be the leader of the world and all that. Looks like it's going to be interesting. Definitely want to take the kids to see it. I think it'll be fun. So next weekend, I think that's when it comes out. So next Friday, I'll probably draw him from that cartoon movie. I think that will be a fun drawing. And we will continue to do our Friday art video, which will just be a sketch, you know. And I always put this out there. Not many people take me up or believe I'll do it, but if you put out something good on one of the channels or the platforms, you put in the comments, hey, would you draw this? If it's not something that's, you know, inappropriate, I'm going to add it in to the list of things to draw, you know. So I will draw it for you. And I will put the shout out. I will put the shout out, you know. You will get that shout out for that recommendation. So, yeah. If you want that, if you want to be a participant of the Artistry Society, come on, add your comments, tell me what you think I should draw. I will add it into the rotation, and when it pops up, boom, you'll be there. All right, so with that being said, I really have been enjoying making content, and I enjoying the games. Splitgate 2 is supposedly has a battle royale. I want to try that out. If I have time next Saturday, I want to try to play Splitgate 2, which I have not played even Splitgate 1. So I think that will be totally fun to check out. Supposedly it's got a battle royale mode. I did a little clip about it today because apparently did something with the microtransaction and increased the price like 50% or something ridiculous. And then they gave people their money back because they corrected it or whatever. So that's good when a company recognizes they messed up and fix things. So I would like to try out Splitgate 2 and play that Battle Royale mode. And I think if I could fit it in Saturday, I will. We're getting this podcast done on Sunday for Monday, so I'll post this up on Monday. And we'll get a game stream in on Wednesday. I'm going to play Doom because I haven't played it in a while, and I want to get further along through Doom, the Dark Ages. And the art video for Friday will be something from that ELO movie that's coming out. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but I think that's how you say his name. I'm not sure. From the new Disney movie or Pixar movie or whatever it is coming out. We'll get that drawing done on Friday. And we're going to keep pushing through this month as we try to make our content, build our channel, build our Artistry Society up. So join the Artistry Society. It's easy as hitting the like button and giving a comment. You ain't got to give me no money. You ain't got to do nothing like that. I just ask that you participate in the post. That's it, man. Watch the video, like and subscribe, all that jazz. This podcast is on Art with Errol Podcast on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Till next time, y'all. You know what to do. I'm out of here.